Hello and welcome back to Bolivia RSA. Thank you very much for joining us. And as you have seen from the title of this video, today we are talking about investment, savings, and also multiple income streams. Okay, so in today's video, we are going to be talking about five things specifically. There can be more to this, but we're just going to talk about five things that the average Kasi person, local person from a rural, peri-urban, or just your standard South African household can do to kind of save or increase their money depending on what their objectives and their goals are. So the first one that we're going to talk about is the typical one, the basic one that you hear everywhere around, that whether Kamashu, Usentuzuma, Usenanda, Clermont, Mlazi, it doesn't matter, that you know everyone does, from your kids all the way up to our grandmothers and their grandmothers and their fathers and their what have you. So, stokvel. First one is your stokvel. So, what is a stokvel? So, a stokvel is basically an account where four or five or six or seven, doesn't matter, but a group of people come together with the idea of saving money to use as a bulk or lump sum for one period of time, and the money rotates throughout the individuals in the group. So, an example, say there's four people saving 1,000 rands a month, so 4,000 rands for each month, and it goes to a different person every month, and they can use that bulk of amount to maybe do something for school or something for their children or the household, doesn't matter. Now, stokvels are good because they're very easy to get into. Anyone can get into them. If you someone who's just someone who works at the car wash, makes about 20 rands per car, 30 rands per car, you can save roughly a good amount of money to invest in some type of stokvel with friends or family. So easy to get into. No money ends up. It's just something we love. Now, one of the things that I don't like personally about Stockville is that it kind of deprives people the skill needed to properly manage and also be conscious with your money. So a Stockville is the idea that someone else is always looking out for you or looking out for the money, and you don't need to necessarily care too much about how to manage your finances. At some point in time, you are going to be alone. At some point in time, you're going to hopefully get a huge amount of money, and you need to know how to manage this amount of money, and you need to know how to invest and grow this money. If you've lived your entire life through Stockfell, that means you've never gotten the idea of how to properly manage and increase your finances. You're going to struggle with this when the right time comes. So for me personally, that's the issue that I have with it. But it's an easy enough account, so much so that even banks have started their own version of Stockville accounts, of which I'm not familiar with because, as I've said, I don't like the account per se, so I've never engaged in it. But I know a lot about it through family, friends who have done it and are currently doing it. So, Stockville. The second one would be your simple bank or banking at home, depending on how you look at it. So you can choose to save money either at home or save money at the bank by just keeping the money in the bank. Now, downside, sorry, to this is that if you just keep money at your bank, it's going to incur charges. So it's going to actually decrease by end of the month or end of 6 months or whatever the time is that you now intend to use the money. If you keep it at home, it's not going to decrease unless you use it or someone else comes upon it and uses it. And the bigger risk, obviously, is if someone robs your household or comes through, because even though we don't like admitting it, we still live in rather rough neighborhoods, and some of this tends to happen, as I've also been at fault at this through people either breaking in, stealing equipment, stealing money. So it's something that you always have to be wary of. Okay, simple one enough. Thanks. Third one is banks, but in a different way. This way is investing or saving money at the bank to grow your money. So you can do something as simple like a notice account. So you have either a 32-day, a 60-day, 90-day, 180-day notice account, whereby the money that you keep in the bank grows, and either by 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, 9%, it doesn't matter. It does grow though. So it might be something that seems small to some other person, but for you, just to have that safety and know that the money is in the bank and also is making more money for you, is something good to find out, and something good to just keep at the back of your mind for, let's say, bigger goals, for example. Now, the good thing about almost all of these is that you can start from as little as what, like 10 rands, 20 rands, 50 rands, and just keep growing it to whatever version of amount you want to. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to do it either way or the other. All right. Now, the fourth one that we actually can look into is rather the craziest one of all, but the one that has the potential to bring in the most amount of money. So here we're talking about, obviously, business. We're talking about entrepreneurship. So starting something with the idea or the goal that it's going to provide profits later on down the line, which will bring in more revenue or more income than you would have gotten from your typical bank 32-day, 60-day notice account, or your typical stokvel whereby you don't have to share the money with anyone. The problem is, it is very, very hard. Being an entrepreneur is one of the nicest things to do, but also one of the craziest things to do, because the amount of stress, the amount of management, diligence, and the amount of effort that goes into operating and running a business is so big that you need to be consciously ready for it, and you need to know that it could go either way. It could be good, it could be bad. So you have to be willing to take whatever outcome comes from that. When the good does become good, it's very good that it offsets a lot of the other saving or investment strategies that we have been talking about. But also, when bad turns to be bad, it also does tend to be bad by a long shot. So, when you decide which one is best for you, obviously the elephant in the room here is, if you're starting a business or being an entrepreneur, the initial capital or the amount you need upfront is so big than compared to the other ones that we have been talking about, because you have to do things like buy your equipment, sort out employees, place that you need to work in. All of that comes through in your initial cost of setup, and it's very important that you have that in line and you don't wait for a quick buck, because it could take 3 months, 4 months, 6 months for your business to return a profit. So, crazy one, but a very, very good one, because the amount that you can get in return here can double, triple, quadruple. It doesn't matter. It just depends on your business, the location, and what you're willing to sacrifice for this. Okay. The last one that we're going to talk about here is investments through property, through shares, through bonds. So this video is not sponsored by anyone. However, I have been doing so many of these types of things that I've gotten around a lot of different companies, agencies, groups, and what have you. For a typical South African such as you and I recommend Easy Equities. Okay, so no sponsor, probably have like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 subscribers by the time you're watching this video. However, take heed for this, because it will help you in the long run. Easy Equities is an app where, or company, if you can call it that as well, where you can register, create a profile, and you can start investing in things like property, bonds, shares, cryptocurrency, whatever it is, depending on the risk that you're willing to take, and you can get returns from that. Now, the lovely thing about Easy Equities is that it creates a portfolio for you, whereby it has all of the things you would like to invest in, and it keeps you updated with everything as it goes. So you can invest from as little as 1 rand. Yes, ishumi, 1 rand. I hope I didn't say that like Marisburg people. Ishumi. No, ishumi. So you can invest from as little as 1 rand, and you can buy shares in different properties from places all over the country, or you can also buy shares in different companies, organizations, from American companies, European companies, to bonds, stocks, whatever your heart desires, natural resources as well. So I use easy equities. So whenever I have an excess amount, like your 100 rands, your 50 rands, your 200 rands, I look for a property, for example, that's been built or has been built in a particular place. I research the property and I invest whatever amount I'm willing to invest in it. Sometimes it's 10 rand, sometimes 200 rand. It's entirely up to me. I also invest in things such as your resources, natural resources like water, gas, we would say petrol in my country, um, gold, platinum, copper, uranium, things of that nature, because you know that those things are going to be around for a long time and they will fluctuate, yes, in prices or in also dividends, but at least you will be making a return on that. Property is lovely because the property is not managed by you, it's managed by whoever manages it. You just invest whatever you want to invest in it and you get the dividends based on your investment. So easy equities. Good thing as well about easy equities is before you even invest or you even put in your own money, you will get a trial period whereby where you can demo. They'll give you a certain amount of demo funds where you can invest in different companies, different resources, and also properties, and you will see if this thing is for you or not. So up to you. One of those will help you in either way. Okay. Thank you very much for coming through to this video. And I hope to some point it helps someone who's trying to, increase their revenue, increase their monthly income, just trying to make more of what little they do have. And I hope it does work out for you. If you want to keep someone in line with everything you're doing, like myself, please reach out to me. I will help you stay accountable if you do the same for me. And hopefully by this time next year, we would have double, triple, even 10x our monthly income or monthly savings and revenue. Okay. Thank you very, very much for coming through to this video, wherever you are. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Remember, a still fish is a dead fish. Keep moving. Keep growing. Goodbye.